else is, let's say you're a great driver, you never got a ticket. And if somebody calls you a lousy driver and gives you a finger, is that going to affect you? Why? Because you know that you're a good driver, right? So similarly, if you like yourself more, you'll be happier. All right, everybody got it?
Yes.
Okay, so now that we know these habits, how can we make these habits into a lifestyle? How can we turn these habits into a lifestyle? Practice? What else?
Keep a journal and make sure that you do these things.
Beautiful. Keep a journal at night. How many times do you have to do something to make it into a habit? How many times do you have to perform a certain task for it to become second nature or a habit? Month is good. Answer. There's a very specific number. Actually, it's 20. It's 20, but you're right on. You know why I know this? How many cigarettes in a pack of cigarettes? They've done studies on it. They've spent, Philip Morris and all these companies spent billions of dollars studying to find out how many times you have to do something to become a habit. And it's 20 times. If you do something 20 times, it becomes a habit. So what I would ask you to do is, for the next 20 days, I want you to look at these habits, see how many you're doing every day, and also tell your friends about it. Go through with them. Say, I went to this happiness class, and the guy talked about the word happiness, and these were some of the habits. When you tell more people, it'll burn in your, you learn more by teaching. So when you share with other people, you'll remember it more. So do it 20 times, keep a journal, do it at night, and after 20 days, you'll be doing it more often. You'll be doing it on your own. So that's a very powerful phenomenon. All right, so I promised you, we're going to talk about how to turn your problems into a gift. So let me share that with you, all right? So every night before bed, write a journal for the next 20 days. A little checklist of happiness. All right. So let me ask you this. Has it ever happened to you where you had a problem, and because of that problem, it became a gift? Eventually it became a gift.
Actually, my daughter told me she did this exact thing. She lives in New York City, and people are impatient. And so she was trying to get somewhere fast, and people were in the way, walking slowly. So one day she was like, I hate that person, I this and that. The next day she decided each person that was walking slowly in front of her, she'd say in her head, I love you, I love you, I love you. And by the end of the day, she felt really good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that. Did you all hear that? Did you all hear what she said? She said that she was in a subway, and you know how in New York the subway is very crowded, people are mean, rude. So she would say that in her own head, she would say, I love you, and she was at peace with herself. She accepted herself and other people around her, and so she wasn't as anxious. So that's an accepting kind of thing where she accepted everybody, but there's another concrete way. There's another concrete way to turn your problems into a gift. Anybody else had that experience? Everything that happens to you, everything bad that happens to you, will eventually become a gift. Okay, but it takes a long time because you go through anger, grief, repenting, and all that stuff, right? The formula that I'm going to give you cuts out all of that. Cuts out all the grief, resentment, anger, violence, and you go straight into accepting and following. So let's talk about that. Okay. So, all right, here we go. Okay, so what happens is, when a problem happens, I made the formula called GIFT. So if you remember the word GIFT, G-I-F-T, GIFT stands for, G stands for gratitude. When something bad happens, don't just start cussing. Say, thank you God, like I have a flat tire, but I still got a nice car, and eventually AAA will show up, and they'll change my tire. So if you find gratitude, I know it's very hard to do, but if you thank God at the time, or whoever you believe in, that sort of softens that anger. Okay? And also, anytime something bad happens, there's always silver lining. There's always something that, it's like a coin. There's a heads and tails, but there's always a silver lining that you can also tap into. I'll give you an example. I was doing a master's in Maine. I was in my 20s, young and wild, and I had leased a car, and my commute was 90 miles one way. My commute was 90 miles one way. So I would speed every day because that's the only way I could get to work. And I was leasing the car, so they only allowed me 12,000 miles. So being young and wild, I unplugged the speedometer cable because I didn't want to put too many miles on it. And so I had no clue how fast I was going. I would drive with RPMs. Okay? And so the first night I'm going to work, I got a ticket for doing 85 and 55. So I'm asking him to let me go, and he's like, "You're lucky I'm not handcuffing you." You know? You know? So within a month, I got like 3 or 4 tickets. And so pretty soon I got a letter saying, "Your license will be suspended." So I'm thinking, I got this great job. I can't quit that. I can't come out of the master's program. What am I going to do? So I went to an airport nearby. I said, there was an airport where I lived. There was an airport where I worked. So I said, oh, maybe I could catch a flight, you know, until my license comes back. So I go to the airport and I say, hey, do you know of a flight that goes at a certain time? He said, no. He said, but you can take flying lessons. So I took flying lessons. And within like 2 weeks, I bought my own Cessna, cheap Cessna for like $20,000. So here's a guy who's not allowed to drive, flying his own plane, doing 140 miles an hour, you know? And I had a ball. I mean, the newspapers came and interviewed me because I used to be a postal worker. And so the newspapers interviewed me like, how can a postal worker afford a plane? So it was pretty cool, you know? So I turned that problem into a gift. You know, here I couldn't drive, but, you know, and I could fly. And so eventually I got my license back, but I still got the pilot's license and I bought my own plane. So I found a business situation. And also, I stands for improvements. You want to improve, find out what you can improve so that this problem doesn't happen again. See, if you don't make the improvements, then you're standing still. But if you improve, like for instance, I improved that I'm going to, you know, put a cruise control in my car and bought a CB radio, you know, so I made some improvements. You know, you want to make the improvements. And then also stay in the moment. A lot of times what happens is when you have a problem, you're so overwhelmed by it that you can't think straight. So now one little problem becomes a big problem because you can't think straight, right? You're not focusing on the moment, so you make more mistakes. So you want to stay in the moment. So I also stands for in the moment. And F stands for facts. Get all the facts. What are some of the facts? What are some of the things I can do to fix this problem? Why did this happen? Get all the facts. And also find people that can help you. There's always people that can help you. Go on YouTube. You know, there's always ways you can find people that can help you. And then once you solve that problem, you want to help others because you want to keep that cycle going. You don't want to just take. You want to give it back to society. And then T stands for time heals and teach others. That's the best way to learn. So when you use that formula, your problems become a gift really fast because now you don't go through the anger, resentment, violence, and all that stuff and repenting. You know, you go straight to turning it into a gift. So this is how you turn a problem into a gift. So if you want to take a picture of that, feel free to do it. Otherwise, this concludes my class. Any questions? Any questions?
Did you write a book?
I should, but I'm too lazy.
That's such a fascinating story about losing your license and then becoming a pilot. It's like the most creative
Right.
workaround I've ever
Right.
come across.
Any other questions? I know you have a couple questions. You seem to think outside the box, so he says you don't need more friends. Sometimes you're right. Sometimes having too many, like Facebook friends. Yes, ma'am.
Well, is this the end of the class, or do you have my question is, how do you change other people's attitude? Is that like a whole different topic?
Come a little bit closer.
Most people are generally happy, right? Or they look at the glass half filled and half empty. But there's people you meet in your life, they're just negative all the time.
Right.
And like no matter what, like they're just grumpy or something negative to say. How do you change their...
Okay, first of all, you can't change anybody else. You can only change yourself and how you react to their behavior. And when you react to their behavior in such a way, they leave you alone. I'll give you an example. A lot of times people will, you know, like criticize me or you know, be disrespectful. And this is what I say to them. I go, yeah, keep doing that because that brings me good luck. When people are disrespectful to me, that brings me good luck. And then also they realize, hey, this is not having any impact on him, so they leave me alone. So there are ways when you stop reacting to the way they are acting, they will be neutral towards you. That's the only thing you can do. You can't change people. But if they see that your methods and your ways are working for you, and you're a good role model, and you're benefiting and profiting and flourishing, they will follow you. You can always be a good role model. That's the best way to change people, is to be a good role model.
Yeah.
You know. So that's the only thing I can suggest. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, go out and be happy and make this world a happier place. Thank you for coming.
So I have to ask.
Okay.
I supported postal service for 7 years.
You did what?
I supported postal service for 7 years. What did you do with postal service?
Oh, I started out as an LSM clerk. Remember, they used to have LSMs, letter sorting machine, and then I became a technician. I used to fix it.
Okay,
I
so
used to fix
were
it.
you in engineering?
Yes, yes.
So did you work out of Maryville?
No, I worked in a similar office in California. Yeah, but like Merrifield, like
San Mateo.
it's called sectional center. Back then they were called sectional center. Where they did the mail processing at night.
Yeah. 'Cause
Right.
we
You worked in
supported-
Merrifield?
No, I worked in Raleigh. I was at the IT center in Raleigh.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay, yeah.
HP.
Right. HP,
We
yeah.
supported them, yeah.
Right,
so
right,
I was like,
right.
oh gosh,
Right.
I was supporting you. So it's a fun time. But it's nice to meet you.
Thank you for coming. Yes, thank you for coming. Thank you.
On the other side. Yeah.
Thank you, sweetie.
It did go off one time. We had to reset it.
Oh, really?